Click to go live. Click to go live. Click to go live.
In the
USA.
USA.
Is it the USA anymore? We're not sure. Nobody's sure. We're living in a hellscape.
It's a hellscape.
Living in a hellscape. Shh.
Don't tell.
We don't have to.
Can you hear me, by the way, brother? Can you hear?
I can hear you.
Okay, good.
I can hear you just fine.
All right, good.
I can't really see your background image too well, though. Why don't you tell me what it is?
Let me show thee. Catty Brie, won't ya dance with me? Unfortunately,
that's Catty Brie?
I guess. I don't know, actually. I think
Catty Brie looks a little...
angry.
Manly.
Yeah, well...
More manly than there's nothing wrong with looking manly, but a little more manly than I envisioned her.
Well, it was either like, we only had a few minutes to put this together, so it was either this picture or Catty Brie. Obviously Catty Brie, obviously a woman, obviously not safe for work.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she wasn't naked, but it was very like
classic sword and sorcery,
stuff
Yeah,
happening.
not the most, yeah. Is that looks like that's a still from perhaps a video game.
It is. Yeah, I lost. So why don't you show the world what you've got going on while I grab some water?
Okay, this is a painting of the Dungeons and Dragons character Drist Durden or Durden. I don't really know how you pronounce any of that, but he's an elf. And he's got his friend, a panther, who's cool. The panther's name is Guinevere.
Aww.
No. It's because I've been reading the Drist series, the Drist Legend series of books by R.A. Salvatore, or maybe Salvatore, or who the hell knows. I can't pronounce anything. Any part of this. But Drist is cool. He's what's called a dark elf. He lives. He was born underground, like you do.
Some people are born underground. So
yeah, and so he's not one of those surface elves.
Yeah, those are boring.
Boring. Stupid.
Boring. I've got a new jam.
Oh yeah, that's the cover of one of the Drist books.
Yeah.
In the background there, I could see Wolfgar. You might recognize him because of the wolf apparel. Mm-hmm. He wasn't afraid to go on the nose. And then their dwarven friend. Oh, geez, I'm blanking on.
Yeah, he has a name and a half.
Brunor, Battlehammer.
Mm-hmm.
Real creative last name, real dwarven sounding. Now, strangely, his last name is Battlehammer, and yet his family crest is a mug, a flagon, shall we say, of foaming beer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So why wouldn't he be Brunor Foamy Flagon?
Probably that's why.
If somebody knows R.A. Salvatore, let's get in touch with him and ask him an important question. Was Brunor misnamed?
Yes. Was Brunor accidentally named?
Battlehammer.
It was either that or he sent the concept of the character to the designer, and the designer came back with a crest that was just had nothing to do with his name. Maybe the designer himself was really into flagons.
Or he was drunk.
Or both.
Yeah. Hey, I see that Charlton Singleton is here.
Charlton Singleton? Oh, man.
Grammy award-winning Charlton Singleton is here.
How are you doing, my friend? How are you holding up?
That's a beautiful man. If you don't know Charlton, you wish you did, because he's a wonderful wonderful man, and of course a fabulous musician. I can't see what's happening in the Facebook chat, but other than this, and I can't interact with it at all. So we're just going to talk at you. I hope, and hopefully that won't offend you. We sure do miss you. Hope you're doing good. Hope that you and your family are safe and healthy and COVID free, and that you are as sane as is possible in the end times.
I laugh so much about the end times.
I mean, if you don't laugh. If you don't laugh last, you'll cry.
He who laughs last cries. Hey everybody, this is Matt and Evan Bivens. We are Bivens Brothers Creative. Sometimes we get a wild hair to get on Facebook and just kind of chat about all things nerdy.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times about technology. A lot of times about if we spent like 5 minutes talking about Dungeons and Dragons characters, that happens a lot for darn sure.
It's not much nerdier than D&D.
It's really
not super useful to people who it's hotter than ever.
Yeah.
If you don't know about it or care about it, it's not very useful. But to you, or maybe it is. Maybe we could introduce you to a world of wonder and magic.
You know, I had an interesting idea. Interesting idea. What if we put together a campaign
for noobs?
It would be noobs. We would both be noobs because, I've only been a dungeon master since the pandemic started. I'm checking my watch. That's been a long time. The
pandemic watch.
And you've been interested. We could co-DM a spooky haunted house. I was thinking about this. Would anybody out there be interested in something like that? Like, we would join. It doesn't matter whether you have any experience. We just want to share this thing. It's Halloween season. I have to kind of learn this. I'm learning a new module that's going to be spooky and fun. Anyway.
So you're saying let us noobs, let the blind lead the blind on a spooky Halloween adventure.
Yeah. Basically.
But let us stream it.
Oh, we could stream it too. Sure. I was just thinking, you want to let's just meet over Zoom and have a good time. But yeah, we could stream it too. I mean, it's kind of long, but I don't know. Whether it's streamed or not, just, anybody listening, do you want to play D&D with us? I don't know.
Nate's down.
Mm-hmm.
Nate, you've got 30 seconds to come up with your character name and class and race. Go.
That's the trick.
Go. Get back to us in the chat. No, you don't have to use it, but just your first suggestion. You don't have to use it for the game. I'm going to go for you. Let's see. Definitely a big tank type, right?
I feel like Nathan is almost always a barbarian.
Natron the barbarian.
Natron the barbarian. I mean,
sure.
I mean, barbarians are not unintelligent. They can be incredibly organized, highly intelligent. They just have a simmering rage.
Yeah, every single one of them is so angry that when they go into a rage, they have superpowers. It's so weird. It's really kind of stupid when you think about it.
It is kind of dumb. It's really kind of weird.
It's really dumb, really, because any barbarian, no matter what they can just go into what's called a rage. This is what is called a feature, a class feature in Dungeons and Dragons. The barbarian class has an ability to just start getting real angry, and when they do, you get all kinds of special stuff. You get more damage on your attacks. Whatever. It's boring, but it's silly. It's fun as hell to play, but when you think about a whole world filled with barbarians, basically they're all like the Hulk without the power to Hulk out. Ooh. Now Nate says he'd be a dwarf, and I fully embrace that. Dwarves are kick-ass.
I support that too.
Yeah, I like this. Okay, so Nate, why don't you if you'd like, get onto our affiliate sponsor, dndbeyond.com. That's D-N-D, not D and D. D&D Beyond. And roll up a dwarven character real quick. A mountain dwarf, great. Yeah, so just keep checking in with us and let us know just where you land. If you have a cleric, wow, maybe I think he already had this in the back of his mind. I love a dwarven cleric. And here's a good point. Classically, I don't know if this is true anymore, but classically in Dungeons and Dragons, there was a strange rule about how clerics. And for those of you who don't know what a cleric is a holy person. And there's many different gods in Dungeons and Dragons. So you can be a good god, an evil god, doesn't really matter. But clerics typically in your party are the people who are the healers. And so if you get really smashed up, it's good to have a cleric there to heal you. So that's good. But there was a strange rule for a long time that clerics weren't allowed to use edged weapons. So swords, axes, things like that. Clerics weren't allowed to use those. No real reason as to why. They were allowed to use maces and other bludgeoning things that would kill people just as easily as something that was edged. I think they've since kind of done away with that rule. But when you think about how dwarves, as our good friend Bruno or Battlehammer could attest to, are oftentimes a hammer wielding race, and it seems like a cleric dwarf is like kind of a suit, like
two great tastes that taste great together.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we better steer clear way out of this wormhole we've gone down before I get fired.
For what? Fired from what?
I
don't know. We actually, you can't get fired because we have been working long hours and
we're both a little punchy.
Little punchy. Come Friday, we kind of it's hard to put a couple of words together to create a sentence. So we're just glad that you guys have come to join us, watch us do that.
Is anyone here? Because all I see is Nate in the chat, and
yes,
as far as I know, it's just Nate.
Yeah, it's Nate, and so we're also streaming to a group called Opium.
Oh yeah,
and
so we should probably talk about opium-related topics.
Yes, the drug opium. We should probably
the band formerly known as Jump Little Children.
The band formerly known as Jump Little Children. We're streaming to Opium, but they don't let us know what the names are there, which is, and then we have Kenny Davis.
It does say Kenny Facebook Davis user.
Yeah, it says Facebook user. Creepy, but yeah, Kenny Davis from Abingdon, Virginia. I hope you're holding on out there, Kenny. That's a side note. I wonder if our mother has recently gotten back into, since she can't be on stage like all of her comrades at the Barter Theater, an equity theater in Abingdon. She's gotten back into. Oh, I'm going to go do it. I'm going to go get it. She's gotten back into creating German folk art called Fraktur. And Biv, you can tell people about Fraktur while I go get what she did for me recently.
Oh yeah, Fraktur. Well, like Matt was saying, it's a German folk art. You're about to see an example of it. And I guess in a way you could say it was a very early form of outsider art. You needed no formal training. But typically what Fraktur is, its purpose is to commemorate events. So you'll oftentimes see birth certificates, marriage certificates, even death certificates. And our mom did a lot of these when she wasn't acting over the years. When Matt and I were young, she kind of had stopped acting for a while and picked up this kind of hobby/business. And then once she went back to school and then back to work, she kind of fell out of it again. But since the P&D, she, got nowhere to go. It's Friday, got nothing to do, and so she broke out the ink and brushes and snapped to it. So let's see some.
She's on fire. She
is on fire.
You obviously got the gene, Viv, that I did not get from Mom. She's fast as hell, and we were talking about this concept. I think on a Friday, and then she was inspired, and it was in the mail to me by Wednesday. This is an M, so this is block letter. Block letter is something long before Hitler appropriated it, and then actually, ironically, we've discovered that Hitler really didn't like block letter. So there's nothing creepy about it.
I'm not familiar with the history that you're bestowing upon us.
Yeah. Yes, black letter. So right. So it's a German font, basically. It's just to simplify.
Yes,
oversimplify it.
Black letter, not
Black letter.
block letter.
I said block. I'm so sorry. Black letter is what I meant to say. Black letter. And it's as some of people know, it was appropriated by the Nazis for a short time. But Fraktur has never been about that. Fraktur has always been about the illustration. The illustration of letters. And so, like you said, birth certificates, death certificates, Valentines. And so Mom has just gotten into kind of just creating, kind of creating whatever she wants to do. And this is an M. And then she always writes in German. And this says, things don't get better, you get better in German. Because that's a phrase that I try to live by and appreciate. And I just love it, and it's by my desk at all times. So anyway,
and who said that? Whose quote is that?
Joan Rivers, actually,
the one and only,
the very one and only Joan Rivers.
Yeah.
So we're very excited that Mom's getting back into this. We're building her website, which is going to be fun. So soon, you too out there will be able to have an original piece.
Are you getting married? Are you having a kid? Do you just want to give a really cool gift of art to your friend or to yourself?
Valentine?
Do you like hearts and moons and other traditional shapes? Do you like German? That's interesting about the Nazis. The Nazis, as we know, famously appropriated all kinds of wonderful things for their evil deeds in ways. But that doesn't make the things that they appropriated evil.
No, it's interesting. I read about it because Mom was concerned about it coming back. It was not a thing. It was not a thing that people pointed out when she was a Fraktur artist in the, 70s. No one said, "Oh no, the Nazi font."
That's so funny. I've never associated black letter with Nazis ever.
Yeah,
it's certainly Germanic, but I didn't realize it had been attached that heavily.
Yeah, if you go to their pamphlets and their flyers and stuff, that was the font, but it was not created for him. And then it turns out he never liked it. So
and we all know that Hitler had super great taste.
He had great taste. Two great tastes taste great together. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So it's anyway, but the Mom takes the black out of the black letter as well, and it's just this gorgeous.
The traditional colors are kind of a burnt umber, a dark yellow, and then kind of a red orange. These are and black, and these are just the main colors of Fraktur. And if you look at her Fraktur or any Fraktur, you'll see that it all has a visual thread through it. And she's a true master. Yeah, she's a master. She's featured in museums and everything. So you could get your own MLB original.
Yeah, very soon coming your way. But anyway, you
could have it right now. You don't have to order it on the internet. Just let us know. We'll hook you up.
Let us know. Talk to us.
Yeah. Slide into our DMs. So gross. Whoever invented that, I just should get drawn and quartered.
Right. So the whole point of that is our friend Kenny, he got the N for never give up. He had a very similar thing, the N, never give up. Kenny, we support that. in you and in everyone else. Never give up, my man. Please don't. Yeah, because life does get hard.
When life gives you lemons,
you make macaroni and cheese.
Mm-hmm. Cheese, CHEEZ.
Welcome, everybody. There's 17 folks out there. We're delighted to say hi. This is a very informal Friday Melee. Usually we have a couple of topics to.
Usually we have the best of us with us.
Usually we have our friend Allison Kendrick with us. That is reining things in, the power of project management, the power of
being able to speak intelligently.
However, when the BivBros alone solo, it just sounds like this. Because, as some of our friends know, like Nathan Barris, this is really the way that we speak all the time.
We are what we are.
What you see is what you get. But yeah, we usually talk about tech and stuff, and our friend Allison joins us for Tech Talk. But I don't know if there's a lot of tech things to report. I could dive down a very short. I'll make it real short, but I'll dive just because this is a Tech Talk show.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make this short.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing a lot of WordPress theming. That means the platform WordPress, which is built in a language called PHP. It powers 30% of the internet. WordPress. It's
a lot.
What's
the other 30? What's the other 70%?
The other 70%.
Nightmares.
I don't want to know, actually.
Joomla.
Joomla. I have no idea.
It's still AOL.
It's just what is it? GeoCities. It's just all GeoCities.
Still Prodigy.
Hidden GeoCities sites. Blink, blink, bang, bang, bang. All that for hours. Anyway, so WordPress is there's a user side that people, you can just update things, but then there's a side like that you build. You use code to make it look like something, right? There has to be sort of a skin that you put on every WordPress site, and so we are in the, we build WordPress themes, and I discovered a language. It's not a new language. It's called Twig, that sort of takes PHP, because PHP is a very old language, relatively, for the internet.
Runic.
It's old. It's runic. It's kind of like dwarvish runes. No, it's not. But it is kind of clunky. A lot of people would agree. There's a clunkiness to it.
Well,
and so this language Twig, I'm very psyched about, because it's a more modern language, and it sort of takes PHP and
makes it less sucky.
Makes it less sucky. Thank you. That's it. And that's all I have to say. That's the nerdiest thing I could come up with this week. But it was a delight to get to know Twig and Tinder, the 1-2 punch of
Tinder, like swipe right, swipe left.
Nowadays, but before then, it is a specific WordPress Twig framework. Anyway. What's up, everybody? Everybody who's saying things like, hi there, I made it finally, and I was typing GeoCities. Yeah. We don't know who you are because this app that we're using only says Facebook user.
Facebook user. But that's great. Don't you feel better that you're a little bit more anonymous?
But whoever you are, we're very, very...
don't you feel like for 1 second, like Zuckerberg can't see you?
Just for once.
That feels good.
Our friend Vivian is here. She concurs that since we were little, we talk just like this. No bones about it. Hey, from Oak Park, Viv. We love you and miss you and hope you're feeling well. I owe you a call. Jeez, I owe everyone a call. I owe everyone a phone call. Everyone, man. Wow.
Hey, I owe some Facebook user's wife a birthday message to me, to them. Haha.
We owe that. I owe a very talented young man and a song on the accordion. It's so much. It's so much.
Kiki Edwards in the house, all the way from Paris. Sorry, brother. Yes. What do you know?
Oh, I'm just gonna say, but we are definitely working as hard as we can, and it is a struggle, but we are very grateful people, and we are grateful to be busy at this time.
I think you just came up with Nate's dwarven last name, Strugglebutt. What do you think?
Strugglebutt.
Declan. Right. Declan Strugglebutt.
Declan Strugglebutt.
If you're just coming in here, you missed a whole Dungeons and Dragons discussion. So we won't. Yeah. Well, you're not missing anything. We won't recap it for you, but just for reference.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I don't think we've actually talked about this, brother. I actually did have some mild adjacent technology thing to talk about. Now I can't remember what it was, but until it comes back to me, how are you voting?
Yes.
It's kind of a technological question. Our primaries here in Georgia, we had brand new voting machines that were and very undertrained volunteer staff. It was really weird voting experience, and we stood in a very long, socially distanced line, and it took forever. And we said we are not doing that again if we can help.
You're about to say 4 hours.
4 hours?
I thought that's what you were going to say.
It might have been.
No, really?
At least a couple. At least a couple of hours, yeah. And the line, and we got there relatively early. The line was probably literally a mile long. It was insane. And it was in part because of technology, because of their new voting machines. Only one was working for the first hour of that the poll was open. So it was just absolutely disgusting. And as you may know, there's not a whole, I don't if you're familiar with the most recent Georgia gubernatorial race, it was very contentious. Our current governor, Kemp, basically rigged the election by running for governor while being on the election committee. Just like, what the hell, man?
I mean, good job though. I mean, honestly,
like just cheating out, like bold-faced out in the open, doesn't give a damn. Yeah, so it doesn't make you, when you go to the poll, it doesn't give you a whole lot of confidence when these Ivanka trademarked voting machines, our good friend Edwards says. They were pretty cool looking, but I don't know if they had like the Ivanka like fashionable stamp. So think what you will about Ivanka. She is fashionable, if not a sinister automaton. She's like a creepy sociopathic robot. Anyway, so this time around, we wrote in for our absentee ballot. Actually, Elise had done so before, and hers never came. And she had to, upon arriving to the poll, she had to sign an affidavit that said she was not voting twice, that she had not sent in. Yeah, which, so here was my fear. So we wrote in for the absentee ballots, which George is very good about. They're like, yep, you can just get them if you want them. Not every state does that. And but it took them forever to get here. And I was convinced that they weren't going to come in time. And that we were going to have to bring them, do it at least done before, go to the poll, sign an affidavit, and that alone, like that confusion was going to be grounds for our votes to just be tossed out, right? Because it seems like any reason to toss out a vote in this election is going to be jumped at. Any chance to silence people's voices will be embraced. But they came. And we filled them in, and this is the anti-technology part of the story, because if you, I don't know if you're doing the absentee ballot or not, but when you do it, have you gotten yours?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've seen, like, you have to fill it in, and you have to fill in the entire oval. I don't know if your state's looks like. I mean, I guess it's national, so it doesn't.
Yeah.
Probably looks the same. and you have to do it perfectly. Like if you get one little ink thing outside the line, you're done, right? You have to be very careful.
Okay.
And so I was sitting at my table, just like a freaking insane man, just trying to get the most perfect. Oh, it was so weird. The least, but it was at the same time, it was a kind of a satisfying voting experience of like, here's a real tangible thing. I don't feel like my vote is going into a digital black hole,
Right.
And there's no real confusion. And I could just take it to this basically what's like a mailbox by the library, drop it in, and then pray to little baby Jeebus that our voices are heard. So what are you doing?
So as you can fault Chicago and you can fault Illinois in many things, probably.
Long history of shady politics,
corruption, and unpleasant things. However, in recent years, and in my opinion, in this pandemic, Chicago and Illinois have been A plus. Just
well, it's because you have a mayor who's on top of
we have a
everything,
awesome
right?
Mayor. The
Mayor
governor is just.
He's also very cool. What's it?
Pritzker.
of the Pritzker, the famous
Pritzkers.
Illinois Pritzkers.
Yeah. And everybody's really nervous because he's the rich dude, super rich dude, and they're like, "Oh no, rich dude!" But no, man, he is. As far as I'm concerned, look, nobody does a perfect job. They can't. You can't do a perfect job. You can't. So
yeah,
some people are mad, but
no such thing.
He's got my vote again, and definitely Lori Lightfoot's got my vote again. The process so far has been pretty effortless. We applied online. They actually sent Lindsay, not me. They sent Lindsay sort of like a, hey, are you sure that you meant to apply online? Because just in case, here's like, if you don't want to do it digitally, here's an application to get your ballot. It was very like overkill. We had to figure out what was actually happening. But it was just saying, just to make sure, you can also apply this way. But we applied online. We got our ballots. They're sitting. We just got them a couple of days ago. They're ready to be opened. We're going to open them. And I have never, ever had a bad voting experience in Illinois. It is. I do live in a semi-suburb. It's of the very, very cusp of Chicago, called Jefferson Park, and so I've never waited. It's never been a DMV is a delight to go to.
What did you do during the primary? Did you go in person?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let me think. We did. We went in person because it was right across the street at the church, right across the street. We live directly across from a church. So we walked in and they were safe. They were. I think it was the first time I had been inside a room that wasn't our house. So that was a little strange.
I know. Oh, yeah.
No one there. No one was there.
Oh, good.
And so we're just going to fill this out. We'll be very careful with our circles and
be very careful. And someone had a good point. Don't use a Sharpie. And if you get your absentee ballot, if you go this route, they're very explicit about the rules. But yes, don't use a Sharpie or any other pen that will bleed through. That will destroy your ballot. And and you won't have time to get a new one.
I mean, it makes it so. I don't understand why. Well, I understand why they think we can't make it a digital online thing. I understand why they think that is possible. It's multiple people trying to keep that from happening, but it's
so hackable, right?
But is it more hackable than what is happening now, where they're forcing people to stay in lines for 3 hours at a time? No, that to me is even more hackable.
Oh, sure. I mean, excellent point taken. I mean, when you go to the polling place and you bleep, bloop, bloop, actually, with this new system, and this is not the volunteers part. It was whomever responsibility it was to train the volunteers. It was they were the ones who had fallen down on the job. The people who were there volunteering can only be thanked for their service, because good grief, what a especially during a pandemic. Jeez. But no one there really knew what to do. And once with this completely new system, I voted, and usually it's all on a card, and then you enter the card, and then it prints out a thing that goes into some place, and you don't get anything. But this time I got this whole printed out sheet. And so I'm like, do I take this home with me? Like, what is this? And I'm about to walk out the door because there's no signs, there's no indication of what you're supposed to do. And someone stops me as I'm just walking out the door. It's like, oh no, you got to put that over there. And so I took this hard copy printed out thing with all my votes on it, and I had to run it through a scanner, and then it went into a scan, like it scanned it, I guess, digitally, and then it went into a physical bucket. So it's a weird new system that I opted not to use this time.
Yeah. It's
So yes. So just to say, like, how is that any less hackable than whatever?
I don't know. It's
maybe we should just go paper ballots all the time. What's so wrong about that?
I don't know.
Make them out of bamboo, something more sustainable.
Yeah, because I got the trees. Yeah, okay, sure, bamboo, reusable bamboo, it.
You know, recently we made the switch to bamboo TP in our household, and I'm here to say it's totally fine.
Bidet.
Bidet to you.
Bidet to you, and bidet to you. No, bidet. The bidet. I've said many times. But that sounds great. Yeah, as far as like the environmental goes. Yeah.
Anyways,
TP.
So you have yet to, and are you going to? You're going to take this to a Dropbox near?
Yeah, we'll take it to a Dropbox and put it in. But apparently there's been.
Sorry.
No, it's just because apparently people are really going out. They're going out to vote. They're really doing it because our usual place is actually a part of the park, a part of the northwestern Chicago park system, and it's very cute. There's a park, like a beautiful park, and then this building that they use for the poll, and then like right over here is a sort of a retirement home. And there's been so many people that the retirees are like, you're kind of on our front yards, kind of. So they're moving it to a less populated place. But I think that's good news because that means people are booting a boot.
People give a care.
Please give a care, by the way, if you're on the fence about voting. I think it's a good thing to do this year.
I did a recent just personal poll on my own Facebook page, just out of curiosity to see if if there was anyone out there that in my Facebook world that was maybe not going to vote, and not a judgment thing. Although I would certainly love to try to change their mind if they weren't.
You'd love to try to judge them.
I'd love to try to judge them. Let me work up some judgment real quick. Whip.
Sorry.
I'm miming a bowl and a whisk. I'm not just like giving someone a noogie, which it looks more like miming a noogie.
That's some tasty judgment.
Anyway, nobody yet has admitted anyway to not voting. I think, of course, things feel a lot different than they did in 2016 in terms of, and I'm hoping for all the people out there, the 90 million people who didn't vote in 2016. Hoping you're plenty motivated as the world is burning around us.
I know who I want you to vote for, but I also like if I'm just dead wrong and the 90 million people just vote for the other person that I don't want you to vote for, I will accept that. But please just know whatever it is.
Use your voice, even for evil. Just use it. Yeah. Real judgment is instant. I don't know who said that. A Facebook user said that, but
Yeah, thanks for putting your names in, because again, if you're just joining us, we have this weird thing where everyone's named Facebook user. Facebook.
if you're an opiate, you are to us just faceless Facebook users. Neither we nor Zuck can see you. You are invisible.
I do see some names. Our cousin Michael Winger is in the house.
You know
Hello,
what?
Mike.
You know who's a great guy? Michael Winger.
Yeah,
He's a great guy. He's a talented
favorites.
musician, an executive director. He's got hustling superpowers. Nobody can hustle his ass off like Mike Winger can.
Yeah, can I tell a story that will embarrass him?
Sure.
Well, I probably won't embarrass him.
Yeah,
But,
he doesn't seem like he's phased by a whole lot.
We grew up with this guy, Mike Winger, just today, like in 24 hours. We're adults. Mork for Mork. We grew up with Mike Winger, and that's why we've known him for so long. And we were little. Mike was sort of one of our nemesis because he was in our acting class that our mom taught, and we were like the little, the teacher's pets because our mom was fucking the teacher.
And we were also the nerdiest people in the room.
Oh my god! Also pretentious, and we were, pretty much insufferable, or at least I was. Anyway, so Winger was like the cool guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, and so we were like, Mike Winger, But we grew up and became amazing friends. We were in rock bands. His rock band was called Day Room. Ours was called Jump Little Children. And we toured a lot together, and we played on albums together, and we performed. Anyway, and flash forward to Mike working for the Grammy Association in California and San Francisco, and I was lucky to be a couple of years to go see this amazing thing called the Grammys live. It was just truly unbelievable. The spectacle and the brilliance of the crew, honestly, was the thing that blew my mind. Anyway, there's a ton of schmoozing, as you can imagine. There's like parties everywhere to go to and see, and but the first year, especially that I went and hung out with Mike, and I was just kind of the tag along, right, meeting all these cool people, and I was like, man, Mike is the man. He is. It's different when you know somebody and then you grow up and then you see them at their job
In their elements, being a straight boss.
Because he's an amazing musician and a great producer and singer and songwriter, and that's just one thing. And the Day Room attitude is kind of like, yo, we're gonna make noise, right? But
I remember Mike actually saying to me once that the audience is your enemy.
Your enemy, yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true. But anyway, so seeing him though, like through totally new glasses at the Grammy Association, the respect that everyone had for him, his ability to be so confident, and I was really like
executive directing like a boss.
Like a boss. Anyway,
that was the year. I think he went the year that Daft Punk played.
That was a magic year
with Stevie Wonder, if I'm remembering.
Stevie Wonder, yeah, that was also.
Jeez, that is
my
best quote ever.
It was your best quote. The audience is your enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so sorry to embarrass you, Mike. But
you know what I didn't realize? Even though Day Room kind of was known to do some Talking Heads covers and stuff. Like going back and listening to Day Room recently, I was, they played Atlanta when I was sadly out of town last year, but I was listening to some Day Room, watching some. YouTubing some Day Room, and I was like, wow, they were so much more Talking Heads and David Byrne specifically. I could see how much Mike was inspired by David Byrne than I'd ever really recognized before.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really cool because Talking Heads were one of my favorite bands growing up. My first favorite band, as a matter of fact. Good taste, I guess, is what I'm saying. Tim Winger.
Yes. Excellent taste.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. My cousin Shannon Herber works for the Grammys now too. That must be my friend Sarah.
Boom. Facebook user.
Yes, she does. We also love Shannon Herber very much.
I know. I need to reach out to Shannon and see how she's faring in the end times.
So many people that we need to check up on and check into.
Can we check in with somebody right now? Can we call someone live?
We should.
Check in on them? Hello.
Hi. We should check on Shannon Herber.
So Connor.
Yeah. Meg Anderson's there. Lots of Facebook users. We really appreciate you guys. This is way harder than I thought. Yeah, that's it. Lots of.
For all of you people who may have been tuning in from Opium and you're wondering why Matt and I haven't have any jump related news that we're just getting ready to impart upon you, I guess we should go ahead and tell you that we don't. And everyone logs off.
Lights.
They log off, and the foundations of Zuckerberg's house just start to. Because
all the Facebook users. Yeah, we have no new jump news. I am working on an assignment from Jay Clifford.
Yeah, and I have an assignment from Jay too, but I'm so busy. I can't ever. I don't have time.
It's tough.
It's awful. It's awful. Working is awful.
No, it's amazing. We don't mean that. We're very grateful.
I do not mean that.
I don't mean to say that.
I do not mean that at all. We are very grateful. We are not complaining. It's been very busy.
Mean that we're not.
We haven't had time for anything else.
Yeah. It's just we're gonna find the balance, the work-life balance, you guys, and then we're gonna find everybody. Then we're gonna help everybody who has less work and more life balance right now. We'll see if we can help them out. We'll help you out as much as we can. Our friend Amy did have a tech question, and now I'm looking for it. Our friend Amy Cox. Amy Cox being someone that we would really love to help out, to work with in some capacity. We're going to figure that out, Amy, Anyway, she asks, let me just see if I can put this thing up here. Show, any thoughts on Subtitle? Yeah, and then she says she's glad that you voted and are posing the question. So Subtitle, for those of you who don't know, probably most of you, is a cool new thing. It's a cool new thing that I think the main gist of it is it tries to subtitle or caption things like social media specifically. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. Amy, Lindsay found that, subtitle. And it's so it's like you can, I think you can take your Instagram or your videos and feed it in, and then it will make, or maybe it is live. Maybe it is live. There's maybe both. I don't know, but it will do sort of Instagram ready, lovely looking captions and subtitles. My take on it, I haven't tried it specifically. It is a paid service, and I'm trying to do things on the cheap. However, I'm definitely in favor of every single option out there. The more options, the merrier as far as captioning the internet. I support them. But yeah, Lindsay's looking into it. We should have Lindsay as a special guest on this show one week, and she can give you a full report on Subtitle. Isn't it?
Subtitle. What?
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. That's it.
Okay. Sarah Beckman just cryptically put the word fulcrum into the chat. Which is great. Fulcrum is a great word and a great concept.
I have some news about Sarah Mobley. Sarah Beckman Mobley. She we're in a group together, a comedy improv comedy writing group called the Fowler Family.
I just had a great idea. that once you're done, I've got
Okay.
an idea for you.
Okay. All right. Hold that thing. And we have not sat on our hands during the pandemic. We had a season of a podcast that came out this year, and we immediately started writing, and we're almost done with season 2 of the Fowler Family, and I think it's even funnier than the first season.
Get out of here!
We have been.
How can we listen to this?
Oh gosh, it's out there. It's in the world. It's Fowler Family Radio Hour. You got to listen to it. I didn't know that you hadn't.
I know.
It's genuinely.
Can I find it on all my favorite podcasting platforms?
You can find it on every single podcasting platform.
Even Libsyn.
Even Libsyn. Maybe. No, I don't think so. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, it is out there. There's 4 starter episodes, just like 45 to an hour maybe a piece. It tells a story, the first season, and I'm super proud of it.
Who are the Fowler? Who is the Fowler family for people?
Well, so the Fowler family is a group of Southerners that sort of banded together in Chicago, Illinois. There's Joe and Shelby Burton, husband and wife team. They've kind of been around for the longest. And then there's a fellow named Robert, who's also an original member, a Jeff, who's also an original member, Sarah, and myself. And recently, Sarah's husband, Richard, has had an enormous amount of input because he had to record all of us. I say had to because I think we kind of snuck it up on him, but he has had to like really rise to the plate. And I think he ding dang did, and I think it's going to get even better second season because it takes he had to.
So those are the players. Who is the Fowler family?
Oh,
so those
are
the
the Fowler
who's created the Fowler family.
Fowler family is a fictional Southern family.
And do you know where in the South they're supposed to hail from?
Yeah, it's never really said. They're in a town called Henley in Coffee County. I think it's North Carolina.
Bumfudge, Dixie.
Yeah, it's like never heard of it, but it's so the concept of the Fowler Family Radio Hour is like definitely Lake Wobegon, Prairie Home Companion with a sort of surrealist Southern twist. So Calvin, the patriarch of the family, is he looks like he might be in his 70s, but he talks about being in like the War of 1812 and stuff. It gets very weird. And people call in. There's like a news hour. It's really like if a family kind of just sat around a microphone. Well, it's almost exactly like this.
It's a little bit like Hee Haw. It reminds me of Hee Haw.
There's a Hee Haw element to it too.
A little less sketch, like wacky. If anyone out there even remembers Hee Haw,
right?
You might remember it to be kind of a sketch, almost game show style. Weird. We only know it because our father loved it.
Yes.
For some reason, he's loved Hee Haw.
Loved Hee Haw.
And
there is a Hee Haw vibe.
Yeah, our poor mom had to watch Hee Haw every night.
It was, yeah.
I'll buy her frog to her. Save her from Hee Haw.
Save her, buy frog to
her. So anyway, the Fowler Family Radio Hour is got a little bit of a Hee Haw vibe.
Yeah, it does.
So here's my addition to the Fowler
world
repertoire. Mm-hmm. I think what you should do as the Fowler family, and tell us about your member of the Fowler family first.
Yes, my character is called Ash Tompkins, and he's
You're not a Fowler.
I'm actually not a Fowler. I mean, I am, but let's see. Calvin and his sister are my great aunts and uncle. And then there's a guy named Ray, and that's my cousin. So I figured it out one time, and now I can't even remember. But he's the city boy, right? Like his dream. He's a singer. He writes songs. His dream is to move to Nashville, but he never kind of quite gets there. He's not he's not. He doesn't really have much of a Southern accent. He's incredibly.
It's a little bit
nervous all the time.
Incredibly nervous.
He's
He's
very
anxious.
nervous. He's very anxious. He's a very he only comes out of his shell when he's performing or singing, and he becomes a totally different
Bless his
person.
heart.
Yeah.
So he's a little bit like Shirani.
Basically Shirani. Yeah. Basically
Shirani. Sorry, Shirani. A little bit like Shirani. Use your words, Shirani. It's like if Shirani and your character from Upwind of a Cowboy were blended.
In fact, Ash is almost exactly that character. A character that I had at Barter Theater when I had a stint there, and his name was Crash. The reason I couldn't name this character Crash is because Joe and Shelby's son is named Crash.
What?
For real. Yeah. Because
Weird.
Because he's named after Bull Durham.
Crash Bandicoot.
Because they're related to Bull Durham, the fellow they made the movie of. Crash.
They are actually in real life. They're
literally related, yeah. Mm-hmm.
The baseball hero.
The baseball hero, yeah.
The Kevin. The Kevin Costner character.
Mm-hmm.
The real person though, not Kevin Costner.
With him. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a fascinating group.
Crash?
Yeah.
Crash Durham.
Crash Durham,
Okay.
yeah. All right. So what do you got?
So what I was going to say was, and this might be good for Ash, actually. It might help him. A little bit of RP might help him come out of his shell. But I was going to say the Fowler family might dabble, just to bring this whole conversation full circle, in learning how to play Dungeons and Dragons as a family-oriented it's something they could do during the pandemic when there's not a whole lot to do to entertain themselves. And so just imagine the Fowler family trying
I just want to put something on the screen that our friend Vivian said.
Like Minds.
Yep, like Minds.
There you go.
I love that idea. I think the Fowler family plays D&D should be its own.
Yeah, and hopefully not well. Hopefully they will play it very badly and
Well, it would
hilarity.
be like my brother and me, right? It started off as one podcast, but then they start playing D&D and it becomes something completely different. I love that idea.
Right.
And Evan,
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you.
Okay, well, there you go.
Done.
I'll tell you where to send the royalty checks.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Let's do it.
Okay, cool. You can be Wolfgar Björnagar. That you thought I made that up, but that's a real character.
Yeah,
it's in Matt's picture right there.
Wolfgar Björnagar. Oh, I can't do
Yeah,
it. Hi.
You might notice him. He's the one wearing a dead wolf.
We should all be.
Yeah.
Anyway, no.
I know.
Yeah.
Let's all wear wolves.
Let's all wear wolves. This is that time of day.
Let's all wear wolves. So did we answer? Amy Cox had a question for us a lot of blathering ago. Did we answer it? We did.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. That was the subtitle one.
Okay. Oh, thanks. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah.
So we answered some questions. We talked about Dungeons and Dragons, of course. We talked about lots of other things. Dipped into Twig and PHP and Timber, right?
Dippy dip, just a double dip, a twig.
We urged people to vote and came up with a couple of ways to do it.
I'm sorry. I'm just since we can't see anyone's name, it just says Facebook user. When I see things like, literally, there's a post that just comes through. It says Facebook user. Let's all wear
werewolves.
What is that? Oh! Sorry.
I made my whole week.
Let's all werewolves. Let's all.
Oh God! Let's all.
Sorry. I'm slowing you. It's been a long
I'm
week.
gonna leave that up there because we should end with "Let's all werewolves."
Because it's Halloween.
It's Halloween, everybody. We're gonna go start Haunting of Bly Hill,
Oh,
Bly
yeah.
Manor tonight. So I hope that
Oh, it's out, right? Yeah.
I hope you watch something scary too, brother. And I hope that we all werewolves. Yes.
We've been watching. It's not super scary, but just to let you know, we did watch Song Exploder on Netflix, and there's only 4 episodes, and they're only 30 minutes long. But if you love REM as much as Matt and I did growing up, you'll want to check out the episode about losing my religion.
Yeah,
which I can't say is my favorite REM song, but it is a fascinating 30-minute little trip back into time. It's
say
just to watch their faces listening to themselves 30 years ago, thinking about the song that changed their lives. It's like, yeah, they're all kind of agog, except for Peter Buck. He's just always, nothing seems to faze that dude. Anyways, that's not about werewolves. I don't know. We do need something spooky to watch. Bly Manor at least couldn't handle the Hill House, which was scary AF. If you didn't watch that,
it's not as scary. Yeah.
It's not. Is it just sad? Because here's the thing about spoilers: Hill House is that it is scary AF. It's also very sad.
I don't know if this is sad or not.
And I don't remember. I actually don't know the story of Turn of the Screw, which this is based on. But I do like that it's basically the same cast as before.
I've got something that you will like. I'll leave you with this. It's somewhat horror-ish. It is. There's a sadness to it, but the acting is so good that I would be. I wonder if you would get hooked. You don't. It's called The Terror, the first season of The Terror. It is just. We had no thought that we would like it as much as we did, and it was riveting.
Okay.
The Terror.
It's how do I access this?
This would be on AMC, so Hulu.
Hulu?
Hulu.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
The Terror. Can you give me a non-spoilery primer?
Yeah. Yes. So it's a show. There's a second season. It has nothing to do with the first. It's a show that takes a historical event.
Style?
Yeah, it's a mystery, like an unsolved mystery in history that it's a speculation as to what happened, adding horror into it. So, for example, the mystery is 2 famous ships, one called the Terror, and another one gets try to find the passage from Europe to China. I think that's what they were looking for before they found. Everybody wanted to find the passage because that was just going to make trade the most amazing thing, right? And so these 2 ships go out to try to find the passage.
Get that sweet, sweet opium trade flowing.
Get that trade and spice. Well, spice is life. Anyway, so they're trying this. They get stuck, and then the whole thing is about. In real life, the crew vanishes. No one knows what happened to them. No one survived that they know of. And so the story is about.
It's like Croatoan style. Disappearance.
Ooh, I bet they'll do that. I bet they'll do that. I bet they'll do Croto.
Wow, this is such an interesting concept. So you've seen, there's 2 seasons?
Yeah, we just started the second season, and it has nothing to. I don't actually even know what the mystery is. I guess I'm gonna find out. It has something to do with Pearl Harbor. So I guess I'll get into it. I didn't know anything about the Terror, the ship. Okay. So.
Now is this
beautiful.
something?
Oh my God! It's got.
Is Elise going to get down with this?
Does she like slightly period things? So this is set in.
Depends.
What year is it? We don't like period things actually, but we loved this.
You're not a Downton Abbey type of.
Nah, we're not really Downton Abbeys.
We watched the first season of that, but we weren't. Yeah, not our cup of tea.
So good.
I mean, I think it has to do with like she likes mysteries, so that's exciting. She's less into horror.
It's not like it's none of that actually. It's
okay.
Horror is very.
I suggest it because we're in a current show hole.
So
give it a shot. She loves anything with Olivia Benson in it. Matt is so cool. He doesn't even get that reference. That is a
Really don't.
Law and Order SVU reference.
Okay.
Kiki Edwards asked us what we were gonna be for Halloween, brother. I'm gonna be a sexy Durden, but like sexy.
Uh-huh.
So it's gonna be very, very, revealing.
Yeah, and I'll be sexy frock tour.
What the
be a sexy frock tour. Yeah, I don't know what it's gonna be. I haven't figured out the costume, but I'm gonna be sexy frock tour. The German
mother frocker.
Mother frocker.
Okay. Mother frock tour. Let's all be werewolves. Let's all werewolves.
Let's all
I
werewolves.
love that. Whoever that was, thank you for that.
Thank you so much for joining us as always and hanging out with us. You make our lives, you make our days, you make our weeks shine bright like a diamond. And until next week, right, brother? I'll see you on D&D Day, but until next week, I'll see you then.
That's right. Turn to your friends, your partner, your whatever, and wear them like a werewolf.
Yes, just let's all werewolves. Sure do love you.
Love you too.